What up, Gemini? Welcome to November. Welcome to your reading for this month. How's Scorpio season feeling for you? It's a fun time of year. All the Geminis I know are absolutely fucking killing it right now. So I'm excited to see what comes up in your reading. Ace of Swords, Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so you're definitely able to get some of this pent-up aggression out during this time of year because people apparently don't know how to approach you. They don't understand what it is that they're dealing with. More than that, they are unaware of the true position in which they sit. Hey, the venom runs deep. Make sure you don't push it too far, though. This Ace of Swords, when you have it, oof, boy, y'all know how to use that shit. So just make sure when you are needing to use it, that it's when you truly need to use it. The King of Swords, you are feeling very much yourself in Scorpio season. You are very aware, though, however, of just how unfamiliar that idea of self is. What do I mean by this? I feel like there have been a lot of things put to rest. Like we talked about last month, there has been a deconstructing of self, a burning down. The beauty in that is we don't really know what emerges from the ash other than something that is new. Something that has been transmuted into something that is different than it was before. That's what I mean by new. There's a lot of beauty in that because what you're left with is just the essence of you, which for you, Gemini, mutable air, all you really are is an essence, is a whisper. The air is all around us, yet we can't see it. You can see it at times. There are times where I look out my window, and depending on, I have a window in my bathroom, in my shower. And when the sun is shining through that window, it casts a shadow of the window cutout on my wall, obviously. And when you look at that shadow, right, I can see the air moving. You can see that there is gas that's being pushed around. Can't see it with the naked eye, but up against the wall, there are moments where, Gemini, you can be found out and you can be seen. But again, it's just a whisper. And I think you really like that. And you're in that space right now where that form that you're normally seen in is one that is unfamiliar even to you. But you truly feel on the inside more you than ever. Two of Wands. The Star. That's meant to be the other way. Excuse that. The Star immediately follows the Ten of Swords, and then the Two of Wands. The Star is this reset. It's this, like I just said, Gemini, you are in essence. You are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You have access within yourself that true raw nature of yourself. And when you are in that space of such purity, you are in November truly covering yourself with this divine source that you are in the unique position of being lined right up against right now. You're in this medium of reinventing. You have the ball is in your court of where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to do it. And so I feel like on a very deep level, you're carefully nurturing yourself this month in November. The water in the star card is one of the most like prevalent parts of this card for me, because the water represents that divine source. And whenever you jump into that divine source, it acts a lot of ways. It can act as a mirror. If that water is still, you can use that as a surface to bounce things off of and see yourself. But it also represents this moving, living, constantly moving around energy that is within all of us. And that you can utilize to really transmute and heal a lot of internal wounds. But I mean, in this case, again, having just been burnt down to ash, I guess the only thing that you would want really flowing through you is what it is that you come from. And then start from there. That's what the Two of Wands is. You have this opportunity now to look forward into all of the areas in which you want to expand into. When I said that you've never felt more yourself, this is another extension of what I mean by that. You have endless options in front of you at this point on where you want to go. It's important that the further out that you travel, right, when you launch off of this foundation that you are on and jump into this next what's the word, like incarnation of yourself, that you keep this close, because the further that you stray away from this divine natural source that you're made of, the more that you're going to have to jump back into this cycle of learning. Okay? So it's just important, now that you're in this new space, you have to carry with you everything that it's learned in order for you to reach this space into the space that you inhabit next. You can't just learn the lesson and pass the test and then, that's it. This is a continued learning. The universe doesn't have office hours. Just constantly watching, honey. And more than that. But we'll just leave it in those terms for now. Temperance. I really like this. Temperance is representing, or the card itself represents Sagittarius, right? Which is your opposite sign. Whenever the opposite sign shows up in a reading for me, it is really apparent to me that there has been a clearing of the channel between you and your oppositional energy. We all carry the sign opposite of us within us, right? So when there can be a marriage between the two, this to me is representing balance, is representing you being able now to carry this divine water, like I was saying, and temper it. What do I mean by temper it? I mean, you are becoming more pliable. If something doesn't start to take shape the way that you want it to, rather than having it be a ditch and run, you're finding ways now to turn water into wine. You're finding ways to quite literally redistribute the energy and the dynamics of a given situation and explore situations from multiple angles. This is a really big step for you guys because it requires a level of security within yourself to understand that you are not giving up your mutable nature just because you are seeing how something plays out. You aren't in a threatened position, or nobody's, how do I say this? You're not in a threatened position just because you take the extra time to see how something unfolds. This is also tempering that nature and that itch that you may have in November and moving forward to when something isn't going your way, or something isn't materializing like how you would like it to not let your temper get the best of you, to not throw off your internal balance, to instead, again, temper those waters, because we are in Scorpio season, right? And by the time we get to Sag season, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not going to get any better. The urge to be a little impatient, and the urge to want to like flip the chessboard over, if, again, like I said, it isn't materializing the way that you want it to. And I say that because Scorpio is a very passionate sign and passionate energy, and if there is everyone's temper can just be at a all-time high, and that line of patience can be really thin, right? By the time we enter Sag season, it's going to be the same thing. So, like, either way, you can't put off this lesson of tempering yourself internally. If you keep those cups constantly moving that water around, then you won't have enough time for it to boil over, right? It's constantly moving. You're constantly working with it. If you can maintain that space within you, then externally, you'll be able to take in these experiences that maybe aren't ideal and use that as fuel to go and approach it a different way. And then again, you'll use your discernment to know if something actually isn't meant for you. But the point is that you're allowing it to reveal itself to you. You're giving it a fair shot. You're not just discarding anything that is not moving as quickly as you are. Okay, let's pull some more cards. Ooh. the Empress in the reverse, the Hermit, the High Priestess. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying with the impatience thing, the impatience thing is going to lead to an imbalance within you. And that imbalance ultimately is like the Empress in reverse is when something isn't happening, like I've been saying for I feel like this entire reading, when something isn't happening as quickly as you'd want it to, and you reach past the middle, that is disrupting this Empress space, and I don't want you to be there. Okay, I don't want you to be in that space. So the advice is utilize this time, and whatever is making you feel impatient, right? Whatever triggers this feeling within you of the Empress in reverse, latch onto that feeling and take that lamp and go and explore it. Figure out why it is as triggering as it is, and do the work to transmute it and to heal it. November is a month for you to set a really nice foundation for yourself, to really establish what it is the next few years of your life hold for you. What the next few years of your life hold for you is resting upon this foundation that you're laying right now. And so when you're in this new space of being reborn and wandering down new paths and exploring new areas, when you start to feel impatient or you have any feeling come up that isn't ideal, that isn't serving your highest purpose, grab it, latch onto it, and figure it out. Find it out. Get to the bottom of it. If you can't get to the bottom of it, at least put a hook in it and understand that it's there, and understand that you are not going to wander down that path, that you are aware that this feeling is linked with me wanting to kind of avoid the uncomfortable. Make that connection, because the more situations that pop up that make you feel like this, you're not going to be able to run from yourself, because you've stated the obvious already. Where you can get into a rut is if you kind of push something off and then it comes back around, you keep sloughing it off, eventually you don't even think it's a real issue. You have to have accountability with yourself, and have accountability to hold these feelings feet to the fire. I hope you know what I mean by that. Hold these feelings feet to the fire, and don't let them just overcome you and then leave and then affect actual events in your life, right? You have the opportunity now to set the settings for yourself, right? Going inward and following those feelings and getting to the root bottom of them and just observing them. You're not trying to do anything other than see where they lead. You're not trying to do anything other than see where it is that they lead within you, where the source is, and observe it, take it in. You guys are really smart when your brain makes the connection that something is bad, you guys aren't going to be able to ignore that in the future. You're setting up those boundaries within yourself, those settings within yourself that will dictate how you react and respond to certain situations, which then in turn lead to what you allow yourself to encounter and entertain. If you go easy on yourself now and allow yourself to slip up, right, that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger the more it rolls down that hill. That's the point I'm trying to drive home, right? It's like if you had the opportunity to go back to being a baby and live your life from 0 to where you are now, but hold in your head all the knowledge of the shit that you learned going through it the first time. Would you go back and start off on the same foot, or would you kind of apply some of what it is that you've learned, what your banked knowledge is, to navigate it so that way you can do so in a more elevated way? Okay. Bottom of the deck, the Hanged Man. I want you to know, like I said, the universe doesn't have office hours. The test never ends. This life is a test. That's what makes it so beautiful, right? Your feelings of impatience or of oh gosh, what's the right word? Hold on. Unfulfillment, right? Or lack of fulfillment. It's for a reason. It's to teach you something. It's to allow you to go down these paths that you so desperately owe it to yourself to go down, right? But more than that, it's not in vain. There's a lot of enlightenment that's going on right now in this phase. You know, I'd like to point out the Two of Wands is a card of optimism and of planning, but he isn't at the stage of taking action yet. There is still a newness to where you're at, and it's important for you to realize that and not try to rush the process of growing, right? It's like when you're a little kid, like, oh, I can't wait to be 16 so I can have a license and go drive. I can't wait to be 18 to do XYZ. I can't wait to be, and then you hit all those mile points and then you wish that you could go back and like hold on to those moments because you realize, hindsight being 2020, that time does pass quickly. That situations they're finite. This feeling that you may have of being a little more stationary than you like is only to serve you. Again, the foundation is the most important part of a house. You're literally building your foundation. It's okay to take a little bit of time to make sure that is done well and properly, and to make sure that it's stronger than the last one you built, right? If if we look at this from like the archetype of the Tower card, for instance, right? The Tower is representative of like a life that you have built up for yourself. And when that tower comes down, it is done so that way you can build a new one that is more improved and more sturdy and more sufficient in the areas in which the last one was not. You would not want to exit the tower energy and then go and rebuild a identical tower. The point is to learn from your mistakes and to move forward. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why this energy is very important for you right now. I know fixed water isn't the most Gemini like energy to be in. I understand. But it is one that will serve you well if you move through it in the right way. Move that water around, baby. Okay? I love you so much, Gemini. I hope all of this made sense. November is a really beautiful month for you. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process of newness. Really savor what it is that you're experiencing right now, which is the birth of something new, a new version of you. You're witnessing right now, or you have the ability, if you access the right space, to witness yourself go through a new birth. And you get to assist yourself, right, in raising up that infant version of you into this realized person. Who is it that you want to be? You have the unique opportunity to assist that new portion of yourself. You know, you guys are the twins. There's two of you. You guys are able to switch back and forth and help each other on this new path. It's really beautiful. Savor it. Savor the miracle that you're witnessing, which is the miracle of new life. Praise God. I love you so much. See you in December.